So again, these two teams have faced each other loads of times. I believe, what was it? It was 16 times in total, the head-to-head statistics on HLTV. The 2 times they have faced on Overpass, on those stats, it was a Gambit victory, last time being 16-4, and the previous one I think was 16-10 or something like that. So Gambit, starting off on the CT side, we've seen what very accomplished Overpass teams can do with that. First comes the pistol. Let's see what their approach is. This is like a really weird...
That's really funny because the clock's on 0 and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. That's why I didn't say anything, because I was like, I can see nothing's going to happen. This is hilarious. I'm just going to leave it. And yeah, soon we shall begin. So I opened, I think, 14 souvenir boxes yesterday or something along those lines. It cost me more than £100 because I wanted those racing skins. I want to say they're in the nuke box. I could be mistaken. I wanted the 2 racing skins in the MP7 Fade. I bought £100 of boxes. I got absolute tapped and tried to sell most of those things. And then I bought an MP7 Fade. They were on for $240, but then this morning they were £100, and they will probably get a lot cheaper as well. But it was like a low floaty thing, so I was like, I'm gonna buy this even though it's really stupid. So I did that. But I'm happy with that. It looks pretty cool. Anyway, now we are into the game, and we are 5 seconds away. Hobbit's going to have a defuse kit and 2 flashbangs. Let's see how many Gambit players end up in the B bomb site earlier on. Looks like it's going to be 4.
Yeah. This is a matchup where I really want to see Mo on the AWP ASAP, and perhaps that will be the case, depending how this pistol goes. Now, the movement from Hellraisers all the way through that connector tunnel. Very silent, very quiet, waiting to see what they can glance of the situation. Nothing really. Okay, well, there's the burst going through the door and spotted there by Gambit. Gambit have 4 players ready to respond to this. And there is the first engagement. Hellraisers seeing what they can get. Bondik finds himself a quick headshot, and there is a very fast rotation back to the A site for Hellraisers.
Bondik is still on B, however, so this rotation can be heard. Mo's keeping an eye on things on the low ground in the meantime, but obviously the action is up here. So far so good for Adren, moving back to stay alive, and now the rotation is going back again, but Mo can hear all of this because of his position. Bondik sees him at graffiti now, and now Mir is making his way down as well, but Issa is still waiting up A long. There is still time for them to rotate again, but I don't think they realise that there are 2 CTs here now. There are 3, but the bomb is just about to make its way into the site with Dead Fox, so perhaps Hellraisers are at the point of no return.
Yeah, it's looking very difficult right now, but can Gambit make this first couple frags happen to progress on towards that bomb, forcing Dead Fox back as he tries to work the pillar. Now the numbers are starting to dwindle. That's a beautiful headshot from him. Traded out by Mir, though, as Issa now uses that vantage point to great effect. The trade, though, from Mir is so good. If he doesn't get the kill quickly, I don't think he's going to survive at all. So really nicely done.
3k left with 3 HP, 1, 2, 3. And that is the pistol round for Gambit. That is a very interesting round of Overpass. Don't really see that many rotations on a pistol round. But it was cool to watch, trying to play with the information, and of course Mo's position, I'm sure, was very important to get those rotations in sooner rather than later. Well then, the bomb was planted for Hellraisers. Often when the bomb is planted, this will be an eco round for the T side, because if they don't buy much, they'll be able to afford the AK-47s in round number 3. They may not have all the grenades in the world, however, it does allow them to try to stop the CTs from making a good economy, and we all know how important that is. Rifles and SMGs out for the Gambit side. Starting around the toilets with 1 player in long, and then moving back as they will want to try to abuse the superior range they have. They will expect Glocks and maybe the odd P250 in this round, but you never know. Sometimes these T teams in this situation may go for a surprise force buy, drop some SMGs. But Adren will know that that play had no Kevlar. That should be some good information for the CTs. A very fast flank from Hobbit will make this an easy round for Gambit.
Yeah, good stuff there, really clean. The AKs will be coming out now, and This is obviously a very scary round potentially for Gambit. Okay, sure, you know, maybe you lose this round and you know that sucks and everything, but you know it's okay, we can rebuy. But then even if they win that round, still, you know, it's going to be a while till they are able to pick up AWPs. Their economy is going to be really out of balance. So, you know, for Gambit, they really need to try to find a way to close this one down. And I wonder what their interpretation of Hellraisers will be for Hellraisers' first buy round with AKs. Like, what do Gambit think they'll go for? Sometimes you want to try to make a read, but sometimes it's better if you don't have anything concrete to go off of, just to play pretty passively, get the good basics in there, good fundamentals, keep things safe. And I like this here from Gambit. They are playing quite passively towards the A side of the map. Those AKs are very dangerous over there, and they're taking the close ranges where those, you know, there's the MP9 is going to be good, the UMP as well. Got Hobbit playing that Sewer's position. Mir is there to support him with that M4 from shorts. And Gambit, they've covered a lot of ground, and they don't see anything so far. And we're approaching a minute mark. They've got to start to wonder now what's going on.
Mir joining Hobbit in the short B position. Really hard to deal with Hobbit's position, but you can see a flash being lined up, so I think the door is about to open, the door of opportunity. Mir, did he hear the sound cue there? He looks away from it, and Hobbit deals with the first player. He's got the reload in, but he will get absolutely annihilated by Angel. They haven't seen the bombing just yet, Hellraisers, but Adrenaline's in a flanking position, but the flank will not come in fast enough. Mo now on the low ground, on his own. Does he try to keep the real estate or go for the frags? It will be the latter, and he will die on his sword, leaving Adren in the short beat position. The Clutch King with 100 ping has 2 low health plays to deal with now. Smoke grenade on the site. I don't know if anybody's in there. Unlikely, though. Sees Dead Fox is shattered. Pre-fires there, but the trade is here from Sick, and that will be the round for Hellraisers.
And yeah, definitely not ideal to drop around there for Gambit, but again, as mentioned, they have enough money for a rebuy. It's not going to be pretty, but nor will it be for Hellraisers either. So both teams now playing essentially, you know, a 1 for 2. You know, if they, you know, well, rather, sorry, 2 for 1. Saying it backwards there. Whichever team wins this round is likely going to be able to easily win the follow-up round, as they'll be against an eco. So AWP purchased by Mo, he had enough after all, so that's fantastic that Gambit were able to do that. Of course, utility has been sacrificed, but perhaps indeed the speed, the skill, the prowess of Mo is good enough to mitigate that fact, that low utility, and information now spotted by Gambit as well to play off of. This is a good start for them.
Wow. Oh my god, Angel, what in the blazes was that? He is on one today. 3 kills in very quick fashion. That first one was nasty, and that might be the end of the round as far as Gambit are concerned. The first CT, who was, again, one thing which I think is important for people at home to understand is the value in not just holding an angle as a CT the entire time, but peeking every so often. Because it can allow Angel, for example, to look, let's say he was walking into the site and the CT's not peeking. He might think, okay, nobody's there, let me look towards the balcony. Then the guy peeks, basically a free kill for him. But to take him out like that was absolutely savage. And the second kill was so fast as well. In terms of the GoTV picks, I want to add Adren when he's on the T side, because he is really good on overpass. But I mean, Angel is giving us a hell of a shout at the moment.
Yeah, and that's something that Angel used to be always, for me at least, quite exciting with, is some of these aggressive plays. He's always very good with pistols as well, and just, you know, creating very dynamic situations, and you know, kind of like I don't want to compare it to Stewie or something, but like it's a similar sort of aggressive, like hyper-aggressive style that sometimes he pulls out, and it's really nice. And hopefully we'll be able to see that. Yeah, here it is. So, ooh, wow. Okay, just transfers, and look at that. That's beautiful mechanics there from Angel. Great crosshair placement.
That is wonderful. He's got a Bob Ross paintbrush now.
Yeah, that was clinical. Ooh, that's really good for Hellraisers. Gambit, of course, they still keep the AWP on Mo. I'm really curious how they'll try to use that. Lots of different methods. Mo will try to take an aggression here towards this long position with that AWP, see if he can pick somebody else off. And there's a boost here. He's always looking for it, Mo. That is fantastic. And he'll run away with that one. Hellraisers will not be able to trade that frag. They did get some damage onto him, but I think Mo will be more than happy. You can see Issa trying to dispose of the gun. And Hellraisers now down to 4 players. They have to make a decision now. It can't really keep spreading out when there's an AWP on the field.
The waiting game for Hellraisers. Gambit looking for information. Got the 3-man tower. Did they see the Molotov? Perhaps they did, but I mean, they're in position to take someone out from short B regardless, so they will focus on that for the time being. Short B smoked off, and that should be the information for the CTs. But how do they escape this position now? How invested are they into this situation? Mo's on the high ground with the AWP, so perhaps he can escape. He's got less than half life, but this M4 may be lost by the charge. Look at the plate numbers game. 4 people peeking at the same time, but they are so ill-equipped. Only Adren with the M4 gets the kill. The bomb planted, and it's time for Mo to hold on to his AWP, but of course this is a strong angle for a sniper, especially if you can depend on them to land the shot. Take a shot, get a kill, and then fall back. You can reposition. Very scary for Hellraisers to continue to pursue should they find him in this position. Hellraisers taking the lead now, 3-2 over Gambit. 3 rounds in a row for Hellraisers. They'll be very happy with that. Nice momentum. In the meantime, this will be a loss bonus of 2,400 for Gambit. You do the maths. Streamer maths is not recommended and can often go wrong.
And well, at least Mo is going to keep on holding on to that AWP and
keep on trucking.
Yeah, I mean, he's been great so far with it. I think he's going to pick every single time. I mean, of course, I say that it's like 2 of 2 times, but still, it's definitely really cool to see that he's keeping hold of it. And so we have technical pause. So the buy will come in from Gambit in this following round. They won't have an enormous amount of utility, and Mo still has the AWP. So I would expect to see an aggressive play from Mo once again. We haven't seen him go towards the party position just yet. So perhaps that could be one of the classic peaks, or perhaps he may go sewers. I think there's a lot that he can go to on overpass. That's why this map is so scary when you have AWP of his caliber.
Okay, people are dealing with something downstairs. We'll find out more information a bit later on, but hopefully it is a brief one. Make sure, those of you watching at home, make sure your Steam account is connected to your relevant place of choice that you're watching on, be it Twitch or YouTube. Of course, if you're watching on Steam TV, then that's already done. Same for GoTV as well. Don't forget to let us know who you think is going to win this. Also, let me know if you've got any souvenir boxes, let me know what was inside. Send me a picture, especially if it's a good one, because my one sucked.
How do you think this is going to go, James? This is a pretty pivotal moment. It's the next buy of Gambit. They're going to be spending all the monies. If they lose, it'll be the 4th round loss in a row.
I'm curious to see if Mo will drop, because Mo's holding his AWP, but everybody else has pretty much got the same money, including him, for 4,300 on average, because if they buy for themselves and are a bit short versus if he bought for someone, then he has another AWP with ease in the future. But I do wonder what the thinking is like in a professional team in that regard. Because we always see Nifty prioritize AWP in terms of like eco rounds and so on. He's not getting his he's not investing in those. He's saving because it's a big priority. But I wonder where the grey area or the line is in terms of such priority.
Yeah, I think I would like for them to make it the strongest buy round possible. If it was me making the choice, and so because if Mo drops the AWP right now, Mo has $4,200. So if he drops an M4, he's going to have 1,000 left with which to buy nades, which is pretty much more or less a full nade set. So for himself and a teammate will also then have a full nade set as well. And if someone picks a UMP or something, they can actually have a round with a lot of nades and good guns. And I think that it's a shame to play a map like this where the rounds can be very long and it's a very tactical map and you don't have the utility to play it out with. It can be very difficult, especially if Hellraisers decide to play have a really good round, a really good default with a lot of good pressure. It's a tense moment for Gambit because this is where things could get really out of hand if they're not careful. And for Hellraisers, they are positioned quite nicely to shut them down. And there's all sorts of things that Hellraisers can do here.
All right, so the pause right now is just the techs are doing a check on the network connection to make sure everything is hunky-dory and there will be no issues then they've got some kind of flag, so they're just making sure that everything is good before they continue. They've been everything's been good so far, so hopefully it continues that way.
Yeah, I think. So I'm gonna say what I would like Hellraisers to do, and then I want you to
educate me.
offer your opinion as well.
Okay.
For me, I would like to see. I don't know if they'll do this. It might be that Hellraisers will just do like a typical default, but I would like to see as part of their default just taking sewers away really quickly, because Gambit have already shown that they've wanted to fight them when they had a couple leftover SMGs and stuff like that. Just take sewers away, because that also you're going to have more utility than the CTs, and that's a way where you'll force them to use some of that utility straight away as well. And so that's like one of the reasons why I like that approach. So what approach would you like, James?
I mean, that's always important. I did see that in the previous round, but my memory's so terrible that I don't know what the... Yeah, I did see them do that in a previous round. Yeah, I remember Hobbit was on the other side of the tunnel, and then Mir came along to say hello. So I'm sure we will see more of that. I mean, it's still early days here, so there's still information to absorb at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Mo has AWP. I mean, partly depends on, as far as Mo's concerned, it depends on spawn. Right now, he's behind the truck, so not really the greatest spawn to go for a pick, be it in the through to the balloon area or in connector. Another thing to look out for as well, I think Overpass is always a very stimulating match to watch in terms of how a team supports a rifler. I think I actually made a video of Daps' team NRG and how they would support Cirque around the toilets area, but SK were always a great team to watch. They've changed their play dramatically since then, but when you would have them play around connector, around the middle of toilets, in the sandwich position and other places, you could learn a hell of a lot as to how, let's say, the sniper might be the initial engager and the rifler can clean up or allow the sniper to fall back or re-peek, or all these different things. There's a lot you can learn about two-man setups on a CT side, which are very easy to employ if you discuss briefly at the beginning of a round or a match with somebody, even if you're playing in matchmaking with somebody completely random. You can make a two-man setup work. Like if you're playing Cash, for example, you need to do that to get a smoke and a Molotov out onto the entrance and the roof and so on. So, yes.
I think Big showed a lot of really cool, very typically strong CT setups with AWPs in their matchups on Overpass earlier in this tournament. So that's something you can look forward to. Smuya, for example, playing a sort of passive AWP on B short was really cool as a support, looking into the squeaky door, whilst his teammate was playing, where we saw Hobbit previously, deep in the sewers on the other side of the tunnel. And then they open the door, they try to peek out, and boom, there's an AWP in their face. So that's a pretty hard 1v1 to win. So, but that's definitely, if you have two AWPers, it's really nice to stick one there, but we'll see now. We'll get to actually figure out what Hellraisers choose to do very soon. So the round has begun, and it's an all point to Woxic now. That's a scary prospect, and it looks like they are going for a more typical default there, spreading across the map, the entire width of the map, and Adren's gone deep through to the fountain. Let's see what he can do here. Deadfox, meanwhile, going for an aggressive play. Hobbit will shut it down, and Adren will shut down Woxic. Sees the bomb as well. Can't do much about it, but that's a really good start. Can he get out of there alive? Spinning around, unsure where to look, and that will be a 4 versus 3 for Gambit. Still a pretty decent situation early in the round.
Angels in a short B area, as you can see, up on the rail. There are Molotovs you can deploy to go on the high ground and the low ground here. I still want to see somebody, they're always facing the same way, right, for a short B push. I still want to see a flashbang from barrels to blind that player, and a Molotov, so he stands in a Molotov and just dies without knowing what's going on because he's blind. Somebody has to do that and make it happen. Ooh, Angel, surely he saw the gun. Surely he saw the barrel of the gun. Perhaps not. Oh, I feel like there's so much information. Anyway, while that continues, Issa is wondering what is going on near the balloon area. And indeed, the CTs have fallen back. Maybe feeling like Hellraisers will be pressured to push the B part of the map. There are 3 people in the B bomb site now. So Issa's the information man. He's doing recon. So I think that Molotov was... Well, in part, if somebody was close behind the wall, he would hear that the Molotov touch him. You can spray that wall with a rifle, as well as an AWP. Those are missing the mark there, and now that's a bomb spotted, and the push is coming in from Hellraisers.
Yeah, this is the last decision attempt. 13 seconds to go. Issa, very nice, but the trade comes in from Mo. 4 AP for Bondic. Can he survive and plant? They're going to rush him down. He gets the bomb planted at the very least. And all things considered, that's a decent result with 3 kills behind it as well. Let's not forget that Hellraisers do have a pretty good economy behind this. Did the previous successes, but that is the perfect response for Gambit. That is absolutely what they needed, and of course Mo still keeps you up. He's only got 2 deaths, James. He has not been dying very much.
It's not bad, not bad. Issa dropping an AWP for Woxic. Going back to the molly he threw on the floor, I guess there's a lot of different things it can do. If someone's holding an angle, it might just make them look to their left-hand side to see what's going on there. Obviously, it covers some footsteps as well. And also would tell him if somebody is behind the corner of the wall, which you can spray, as aforementioned. So the snipers are out again. Mo trying to look over the smoke, but he will be flashed from his position. Hellraisers will be contained for a while in that connector area. I still don't know how to jump up onto that corner. I can't do it ever. And Hobbit's just made a sound, and he's failed again. He can't do this forever. I'm surprised they're not spraying him yet. Surely Angel can hear this. Must be wondering what exactly is going on. Oh, that is... He is very lucky to get away with that.
He should be dead.
Very lucky.
He's pushing his luck in more ways than one.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It can be precarious to be in connector, especially if you make a fast play there with a sniper rifle, because it's difficult to get out of connector and back towards the middle of toilets where Mo is to relatively safe haven. Angel quickly moves past. Is there a reaction from the CTs in terms of positioning? Adren moving back towards the long area after Mo spots that player pass, and indeed Angel's going towards long.
Now Hellraisers have far superior utility at this point. There's 40 seconds to go, and Gambit, they're in trouble. Well, it depends, actually. It depends how quickly Hellraisers can get into position to actually exploit this utility advantage. And Mo, oh my goodness, how does he miss that one? Well, he will get another chance, it seems, as he manages to evade the follow-up, but not for too long. Issa, through the smoke, will find his head, and that will trigger the push, surely. Only 20 seconds to get onto the bomb site. Adren needs to go absolutely hero. He needs to create heroics. So I'm trying to say here as he's playing the smoke. 9 seconds to go. He can't do a single thing, and that bomb will absolutely go down. And this is not a good look here, James, for Gambit after just winning a round. They had some real chances here to make this a lot easier for themselves, but it was not to be.
The money is lacking, Dan. I think it is reasonable to say Mo will have exactly enough to just over. No, he'll have exactly enough to buy an AWP, so there will be a buy around these weapons, as you might expect anyway, with 3 people alive. But everyone is alive for Hellraisers. Excuse me. Are they going to pick up a second AWP, or are they disposing of it? I do wonder. It is being carried somewhere. Okay, it seems it will just be... I think he's taking it away from the stairs, so they cannot collect it if they were running up from the back. Which is really smart. Great awareness there from Bondic. Always been a smart player to watch as well. Good place to learn from. So here we are, Gambit with a 1-round deficit, and they need to make ends meet in this round. There he is, Mo taking the AWP. You'll see it in a second. He's naked. And aside from that, I mean, the MP9s are the biggest problem for Gambit here, obviously, because there are quite a few different areas of engagement on an overpass where the distance won't be perfect for those weapons. And they are, of course, against the AK, so maybe that moving accuracy will need to come into play as well. Oh, but is he going to try again? Okay, somebody link him how to do this, and also link me as well, because I've literally never made it up there, not a single time.
Yeah, and he's actually getting punished this time. It could still go much worse. He could still just instantly die through the smoke.
Ooh, you can see the danger in that rotation as well as the smoke dissipates. If the T's were there faster, he is absolutely dead. In the meantime, Mir has control of the short B position, so Gambit are trying to make up for their shortcomings in weaponry here.
It's been a slow pace from Hellraisers in a lot of these rounds, and I think Gambit are more than happy with that, considering again just how stretched their economy has been and how passive they are. Happy to play. Trent with a quick spot there of One player, 40 seconds to go. Hellraisers yet to make a significant move anywhere. They haven't forced any engagements. The pressure's been light at best until now, and there's 30 seconds, and they're not really close to hitting a bomb site here. They're going to have to rely on the entry frags towards B, and it doesn't feel like they have a great setup moving into this. 20 seconds. This is going to have to go right with no hitch. And here they go into the bomb sites, and 13 seconds. Well, that's a good start, and well, looks like Dozy will go down as well. So the defense collapses, and doesn't seem like it was an issue.
Yeah, I think this has to be a save. 5 versus 3 with no position, no flank. I think 3 weapons could have been held for here, but you have to expect to be hunted as well with all 5 players alive again for Hellraisers. So at least they've lost some players, which may slow things down, but now Hellraisers may start to pull away. Very important that they save this AWP, but I mean, Mo hasn't really... it's only Adren doing the big fragging at the moment for Gambit. Not much else is looking fantastic for them.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Gambit were very, very passive. You know, there's 25 seconds left. There's still nothing happening anywhere on the map, and you know, have everyone on both sides just kind of like holding positions. And you know, perhaps that's part of it. Maybe they're thinking, if that's what Hellraisers are looking for. They're looking for us to make an information play. They're going to get a kill, and then the defense will collapse. So if we just play passively, don't show ourselves, then that's one way to deal with it. And I would say that's definitely a correct approach, because there's an inherent risk for the T's. If they lose a player immediately on the entry, then things get really weird very quickly. But this is looking very strong for Hellraisers right now. Gambit don't really seem to be in the game on these buy rounds, James.
Yeah, someone is doing the talking right now, and a lot of people are doing the listening. So indeed, they get $1,900 for the loss of that round. And you can see the overall situation there. Difficult to, like if they buy around the AWP in this round and then lose it, their money's all over the place. So risks will have to be taken, because obviously they want to preserve the AWP as much as possible, but at the same time that is arguably a shorter game, and they are playing the long one. Very early on this game, that tower is used as a lineup for a number of different things. Well, mostly for that smoke in defaults. Helps them plant the bomb, covers some space, lets them cross towards the CT water. There is Mo with the AWP, but there is a smoke. There's also a gap, so Isa has to be careful. They're going to try and boost him up. Hobbit's picked off in the meantime. Adren's still on a rotation, and Dozier on the flank.
Once again, it's Mo really just having to play a survival game with this AWP of his. Can't really do much from this point, unfortunately, for Gambit. So Gambit, what they've been doing hasn't really been all that successful so far. They're going to have to find a way to freshen things up into these following rounds. Oh, hello. That was close. It's funny, it feels like Mo's only died on the rounds his team has won, but he never dies on the rounds because it seems like Hellraisers are so good at avoiding him so far.
Yeah, and that can be, I mean, he is a very, he has a big output. He has a big output, so that is not a bad decision to take. And I think we've seen him shine in the past, obviously. I guess you see more of it at the majors, but I mean, he is a really good sniper, and hopefully during this tournament with the viewers we'll see that. Hopefully we'll go on a journey of discovery with him, for those of you who aren't so familiar. But somehow he still has a sniper rifle, and he's going for a cheeky pick. Hello. Seen Kusa do plays like that on Inferno ahead of a smoke, but can they escape? It's so dangerous to run back. It's really a nail biter, whether you're a sniper or otherwise. Has a quick look at a corner which used to be common for a jump peek. I always used to say that on Navi, Edward would always jump peek there, and nobody would ever shoot him. Guess there were less coaches and analysts back then. But now habits like that will get you in a lot of trouble.
And this is good from Gambit. They're playing more proactively. If we think to the round that they did win, they got 2 kills at the start of the round on either side of the map, playing aggressively. And this is a map that's incredible for CT aggression. Lots of ways to do it, lots of ways to be surprising, lots of ways to suppress your opponent's ability to take map control. And we have sewers here for Gambit, which will allow them to have more information as to what's going on, and they can shuffle their players around, lean more towards A. And Mo, he could be instrumental here. Could be an AWP 1 versus 1 battle in store for him very shortly. We'll see whether or not he'll be able to get the better of it. That's beautiful. Very quick shot onto Angel and Hellraisers. They've got 30 seconds left, and they are not in a good position to take a site yet.
Holbert is in the short B area, which is a lot of information for his team, and he can hear the rotation if people start to run down connector, because they would have to run at this point, which means they can stack the A bomb site. There's Issa picked off a flashbang as well, and these are warning signs for Gambit. Holbert starting to flank now, as is Adren, and the bomb's still on the floor. No one's even collected it, and there are 10 seconds left. They are in no man's land, Hellraisers. And at this point, they're just trying to do some damage, and maybe that's all they could do. Keep the AWP out of the hands of Gambit, but it will be collected immediately.
I think Mo hit every shot there. I think he even hit Bondik in the head through like a really thick part of the wall or something like that right at the end. Might see that here perhaps in this highlight package. Beautiful stuff here. He just knows. And there's here. Yeah, okay. Big damage from Mo. Incredible stuff. And he is on point. He is absolutely on point. If they get him in more positions to succeed, he can lift them up here.
Yeah, and I look forward to Woxic on the CT side as well. Hobbit's picked up a second sniper rifle. Now, he has been playing in the connector position, smoking it off, as we've seen. Now he's over towards the B bomb site, and Mir is there as he normally is. So there's a change in the configuration from Gambit. It's always important for the CT side. Meanwhile, Issa going for a pick, and Molotov fails, and now Hobbit's delivering with the sniper rifle, running distraction. But can his teammate trade Dozier? He's got to find these frags here. Mir's here as well, though, and there is the frag for Dozier. Now the bomb's on the floor, and Woxic doesn't have many teammates to help him here. He's kind of trapped in this area, and this is giving more time for the CTs to rotate towards B.
Woxic, he's still dangerous in this position. A couple weakened players. Oh, there you go. Mo delivering once again. He's a savage so far here for Gambit. 11 kills and 4 deaths. He is so instrumental indeed. Angel looking to get some damage in on the outset of this round. They know exactly where he is, and the double peek, really well done by Gambit in this round. And I kind of liked how Dozier was playing it in some ways, and in other ways not. He was kind of like just, I don't think he stopped at all. He was just peeking out from barrels and just running and spraying. It didn't look like he was aiming to really hit anything, but he created a huge distraction and stopped them from really pushing past the barrels, which allowed his teammates such as Hobbit to get kills. And then when Hobbit went down, he did the same thing, delayed even more. Then the rotation comes in. So even though Dozier didn't really get much done there, he was a horrible threat for them to deal with.
Got a tactical timeout from Hellraisers at the moment. Now, opportunity knocks. They have the money to buy. So again, the focus has to be, we got 3 rounds in a row. Gambit have got 2. Okay. They can't even break them at this point, really, because Gambit have an average of $3,000 in the hole, as you can see. But what do they need to change? Gambit are enjoying some success, so they've got some momentum. A pause is one way to break it. Sometimes people go for a tactical pause just to break the momentum of a team, mentally at least.
Yeah.
Or try to, rather. Hobbit and Mo continue with 2 sniper rifles, as does Woxic. Let's see if he can be the can opener for his team on the T side of Overpass. Not the easiest thing to do. We saw Hellraisers jump peeking. Ooh, hello, but oh, wow. That is like a really hard situation to deal with, I think, for both of them. But Mo comes out on top this time. Mo red hot at the moment. That's not good if you're his enemy.
Yeah, that was stunning, wasn't it? Hellraisers trying to challenge again into this A side of the map, and the aggression is overwhelming them. Gambit really switching things up, and it's working out wonderfully well. Issa and Bondik remain to try to do some damage. They have plenty of time, but it's going to be very difficult. You can see that Gambit have altered their setup to be more passive so that they don't have really anyone in any compromising positions. No advantages to be had for Hellraisers. And this is quite cool. You know, initially I was thinking, okay, this is Gambit are really showing big presence with Mo. Mo's hammering that A side of the map early on. He's starting, as you say, to get quite hot with that AWP. You can definitely see that Hellraisers were feeling it. They go for this really fast B response to try to break it up because they're not feeling that A pressure, and they get shut down at B. And so now the question is, okay, how can Hellraisers push the CTs back on the A side of the map? They have to do that first to really start to get more real estate and work rounds again.
Look at the hunt here. Dozier's behind the wall. He heard Issa jump, which is why Hobbit didn't re-pick through Monster, and now he is going to probably die. Dren doing a great job of baiting there. You almost feel like he's guaranteed to die in that situation, especially after the first peek. Issa knows he's coming, and now he's been spotted.
Oh my God!
Got there in the end. I mean, he had to die there. There was just so many people.
That went on for so long. It's like everyone was shooting the same corner. That was so crazy.
That's a nice flick, because he sees like the top half of the egghead. And there we go. Just a few rounds left now in this half, so everyone has a fighting chance going into the second half, regardless of what happens at 6-6. They've got that breathing room. Some Desert Eagles, or a Desert Eagle, and a P250 out for Hellraisers, so this won't be, they won't be doing much in this round. I wonder if that was through the wall, because... Actually, no, never mind. It was a leg.
Yeah,
it was not through the wall.
Jumping, yeah. Oh, hello. Gotta be really careful around like this. We've all seen it happen. Oh dear. That's an AWP in a very forward position there that can be collected by Hellraisers soon enough. Now Dren has to be careful. Does he try to save that AWP? Oh, and now he's caught out of position.
Oh my God.
This is why you got to be really careful against these pistols. They move quickly, and you got to just cut your losses. Dren didn't do that. Now he's been lost. Mira's been lost. This is not supposed to happen. All these guns, doesn't matter if that's a nice shot from Hobbit. James.
So, we spoke about rifle support for a sniper player at the beginning of this game, and Mo was out there on his own. I don't know if he was concerned with them trying to shoot him as he fell back from the toilet's position, which is why he stood in the corner instead. But I don't know. I think you can be better prepared for such a situation, because this should not be a thing. This should not be a thing. It's not something to dwell on now, though. They just need to look at that afterwards. Just move on. It happens, and whatever. Let's play.
It's the classic situation. You drop your guard. You think this round is going to be free. You drop the guards, and you get surprised by how fast pistols move. And that is something that's going to hurt. That could really be highly impactful in the outcome of this game. We'll see. As James said, you can't really dwell on that. But there's enough money for a proper buy here, so perhaps Gambit can somewhat salvage the situation. They haven't gone for this boost here before. Looking at the tunnel and sewers. No fast push there, though. Double AWPs here for Hellraisers, so it will likely be a slower round. Gambit, though, very forward presence. 3 players close to that fountain there around the party area. And Mo with the delayed peak. Flashed off the angle. Responsible stuff here from Hellraisers.
Double AWP on a T side can be very interesting, because sometimes if an opportunist second AWP is picked up, it can stop people from executing, let's say, a normal round that they might do. And if they wait too long to get a pick, which doesn't come because the CTs are passive, then it can leave them in a bind where they're trying to push a site with limited time into AWPs, which can get really awkward, although some teams are super comfortable with it, like the old Immortals team, for example. So let's see how well Hellraisers do. We have Dead Fox going for the picks. The scope. Hobbit should hear that. I think he's close enough to hear that, which means no one's going to peek. Now Mo's got an angle for people going in and out of connector. But again, we reach the 30-second mark, and the bomb starts to go towards the B-bomb site. Dren not wanting to die on his sword immediately, but Issa has the AK-47, and Mo's got to land that shot, but he had the information at least. He will rotate. Man advantage for Hellraisers as they push with 2 AWPs.
Yeah, Mo, I think, can have enough information, as you say, to understand that they don't have time to go back to A, so he can rotate with full confidence. And that is dangerous. And these smokes, who's not doing, have enough time to get through with the choke points here, getting absolutely murdered on that push through the tunnel. And there is the finishing shot from Mo. Hellraisers, once again, not really leaving themselves with enough time. Haven't been punished for that too much in this half, but that's a very clear example of it.
Woxic manages to trade frag in the tunnel with the AWP, but would you expect anything less from him? But again, it was laboured. Angel was looking for an opportunity towards A as well, with about 15 seconds left on the clock, so if someone is still there looking to see what's going on, maybe he can sell a fake. But other than that, it's 2 AKs and 2 AWPs. Doesn't quite work out the way they wanted, so it will be a close half regardless. Now we've got a 4-man charge towards that long position. 2 players with pistols here for Hellraisers. Playing the numbers game, staying close to the wall, walking past the bicycle, and Mo has seen a hell of a lot now, and he needs to run for it. He needs support, but can anyone get there fast enough? Now we've got rifle support. Adreno drawing for a grenade, goes back, and Dead Fox has the superior angle.
And Mo still trying to get past here, but there's so much danger. There it is. That's an important shot. Now he doesn't have to worry about 2 angles. He might not necessarily know that. He's needs to cover his tracks. He falls back, and Mir now there with the AK, looking to spray down a very good angle here against that position. The teaser coming out from Woxic gets a kill on the Hobbit, but there's only so much he can do. And Gambit, they will salvage things. It should have been, very likely should have been 9-6 for them, but they will settle with an 8-7. But Hellraisers, I think that they can be happy with 7 T rounds, because going onto that CT side, James, just as you said, they have a lot of strength.
Yes, and there's lots of play. I think that's the main thing for both sides now. So we'll see who gets an early advantage with the pistol round. You can see number 6 there just saying, everybody chill, everybody reset, and let's think about the second half now. Some people may be frustrated with some of the rounds prior, but it's all history. You can't change it, you can't delete it, it is what it is. Must press on, push forward. Let's see what Gambit have to offer, what they'll buy. Hobbit with plenty of grenades. Dozier hasn't bought just yet. He will get some Kevlar as well. Very rare, but sometimes you see people leave and forget to buy anything. Dead Fox will have a smoke grenade and a defuse kit. Now, if they go into the B bomb site, Gambit, and the CTs are able to swallow the smoke on the side, that would be very interesting. Issa delivering the first kill, Mir to trade. Does he hear Dead Fox though on that short B position?
Yeah, it's an interesting trade actually. Definitely favourable for Gambit at this point. It depends though which route that they take and where Hellraisers are positioned as to whether or not Hellraisers can still use the range advantage of the USPs. And Hellraisers are really spread out here, so trading is not going to be too easy for them as long as Gambits are stacking up in their offense. And Mo might be in a 1v1 here, and I don't think he's going to spot this. Oh my goodness, that's an opportunity gone for Angel. Mo will be quite happy with that one, switches out for the USP, and things get worse here for Hellraisers, significantly so.
Yeah, you can see Angel doesn't know what's... Oh, hello Oxic, okay. Here's another player. He's got the nice range, that P2000, and Gambit will say no. Oxic is A, let's go B. Dead Fox lies in wait with an off-angle. Bondit can be the initial engager. Hello. Slowly but surely, 30 seconds on the clock. Smoke on the site. There's another trade. They've seen Dead Fox now, waiting for the rotation of Woxic as well, going for some pre-fire. Now they know Mir is on the site, and they will isolate the short player. Sees Mir fall back towards the monster tunnel. Now he's got his teammates in tow. Dead Fox is the one with the kit if he wants to get on it. He's going to hold it, he's going to soldier it. They've got a smoke there, so it is a human shield, but Woxic takes it in the face. And Mir is ready for the second frag as well. That's a pistol round to Gambit.
That was close. That had to be like 100 milliseconds or something. He was so close to the full defuse there. That was so brave to go for it as well. That almost worked out.
That is both pistol rounds now won by the Gambit side, which, as we know, has certain implications.
Ooh, it was 100 milliseconds or less.
So close.
That's a tenth of a second, James.
Tactical timeout from Gambit. An AK has been bought and is currently held by Mo. Hobbit's got the the MAC-10. Mir draws for the AK as well. So let's see what the Hellraiser side will have to offer. I see CZs being purchased. Now we do have close quarters in a number of different places for Hellraisers. The CTs get so much real estate to start with, and it will be interesting to see how Gambit choose to deal with that. Connector can be precarious. Ideally, they may want to, if they choose to venture into Connector, they may want to have the area above it, so they can come from the top and the back at the same time. Let's have a look. No Kevlar purchased by Hellraisers, so if they lose this round, we may see them buy more Desert Eagles in the next round as well.
Okay, well, Hobbit, got to be careful. It's going to be, I mean, he obviously on the CT side we saw that he was quite familiar with the dynamics of connector, putting a lot of emphasis around that position. So I'm sure he knows all of the eventualities quite well. And Isa, that's a great start there for Hellraisers. Can he get something else? Well, that spread, it's like he's safe for the time being, trying to get out of there. Shot in the back though, and we'll have the anti-eco playing out here as Gambit start to rush up the long position. But here comes the flank. If the C's at a long range though, can Woxic get anything with that? So he'll disappear and he'll find a Mac-10, and Adren will open up the A bomb site. So Gambit should be fine here, but oh my goodness, so much. What does he do? He's going for it. That's beautiful there from Woxic.
Hobbit now around the party area. Bondic and Woxic will double peek him, and down he goes. Mo and Adren in the long position. The position of the bomb is roughly known. But, I mean, there's a lot that can be done here by both teams because of the low numbers. Adren's bell gets rung. Oh, that's not what he wanted. Maybe that's nerves. Now, they have no idea Bondic has rotated. In the short term, he basically gives Hellraisers an extra man if he can get into a useful position. But Gambit are moving towards that A site, so Dead Fox may be on his own for a while with the lowly Deagle. But Adren does not have much in the bank in terms of HP. He's in the red, soon to be dead perhaps. Dead Fox has to reload though. Bondic on the rotation in which the T's may hear, and a bomb goes down.
So tense here for Gambit. So many things that could go wrong. Mo still really not touched, and it may be that that's how things end. He does kill Dead Fox, leaving Bondic with the Mac-10, but the aim punch will be too much to allow him to have a chance in that fight. And oh my goodness, James, I think Gambit, there's a lot of ways they could have played that better, and so I think they got lucky not to lose that round. For one, I mean, they could have just, they had like 3 guys ready to push the site. They got the entry kill, they just didn't go in though, for some reason.
The struggle is real, but the 3-round lead is real as well for Gambit, and Hellraisers are, for the most part, on P250s. Excuse me. Air conditioning is not good for asthma, especially when it's cold. Such is life. One liquid overseas at 75 and 3 P250s. Raw peaks from the CTs, the wrangles being held. Woxic will be shown mercy from the flames. And this anti-eco round, maybe brief from Hellraisers. From Gambit, sorry. 2 left, 1 spotted, 2 spotted, 1 left, none left. And there it is, 4-round lead as Hellraisers come into the buy.
Alright, so perhaps stabilizing somewhat here. Although when you do go for those triple Mac-10s, it gets a bit awkward. If you want to play those in the next round, so they are forced to, of course, swap one out. And the double Mac-10s will be pretty useful if they want to go for any fast plays. And you can obviously use them in those close quarters. You can use them typically towards the B positions. So we'll see if that will be the case here for Gambit. Hobbit and Dozier, the men carrying those, as you can see on your screens with our fancy overlays.
Tactical timeout from Gambit at the moment, FYI. What would be horrible for a Mac-10 player is if you go towards short B and as a boost, because you are not going to have, you're going to be holding a P shooter from that range. Although it's still possible to get something done, but very unlikely indeed.
Give me the B rush, James. It's a classic. The CTs have their first buy, and you just contact rush them.
Yes, I like a contact play into B. No grenades, just surprise. Look at all these trade fraggers. The first guy has to run wide though. Bear that in mind. If you're going for a rush into a site contact play, if you just stop as soon as you see somebody and block all of your teammates, you're not in for a good time. You've got to run wide. Take one for the team if you have to. Players have passed to the playground area. There is a clock on Woxic's position. That's got to be annoying. As soon as he starts to look away, a player runs out. It could have been an early frag, but it is what it is. Gambit focusing towards the A site so far. Dosie's taking a lot of damage. I think he may have just been tagged with a sniper rifle. Angel looking to clean up. Oh, that's a free one. And he knows Dosie's around the corner as well. Catches him after he throws the grenades. And that is a huge advantage for Hellraisers. It gets even bigger. Almost monumental, but Hobbit will get something out of this round.
Yeah, had to do it with the MAC-10. It wasn't ideal. Lost a lot of HP. They need headshots here. Very quick headshots to make this one work. 2 versus 4. And gets himself 1. Oh, no. Big opportunity. The timing didn't quite work out, though. And the round will get shut down. And all because Angel goes for a very risky, very unexpected late peek into the fountain position. They did not anticipate any CTs to be there.
Calculated risk. If this works, it is huge. The pot will be glorious. It will be enormous. Can buy all the eggs and chicken I want. So the gap is close to 3. Gambit now with a full buy in terms of weaponry. They've got the AKs out, no more MAC-10s for now. And Mo is on the AWP. Let's see what FACEIT can do on the CT side or later on, because currently he's in connector with it. So this is a, I mean, you got to be good to go for that peak. But again, if you don't rotate out of there fast enough, you can be completely exposed trying to get towards the toilets. You won't hang around. In the meantime, Hobbit was at the back or above. No, he's above actually. Hasn't gone down just yet, so it looks like it will be a slow round from Gambit, and Hellraisers seem to have eyes towards short B, or do they?
Yeah, so just a late emergence here towards the A side of the map. And you know, one reason that's good as well is because there are some early timings where an AWPer will feel safe, and so if you take a later timings as a tease, you'll be likely not against that AWPer in those close positions, as they'll have to fall back, so they are not going to get rushed and taken down from various positions that are suddenly possible later into the round. And you can see though that Angel is holding a forward position there with a rifle, and that's not too uncommon. FACEIT there with that AWP looking to support from the back, seeing if he can see anyone coming up from the connector stairs. Now playing around these smokes can often be quite risky. And there's nothing. 30 seconds, James. We've seen very little pressure one way or the other here from these teams. 25 seconds, and Gambit are doing exactly what Hellraisers were doing, but it doesn't look nearly as good, I have to say. 15 seconds. What are they going to do now? Is there actually time to do something here?
10 seconds. I think maybe you just want to save at this point, to be honest. Like, you're not in the sight. There are 8 seconds. Just save. Just save. Just save. Sometimes you have to accept that, okay, we haven't been able to do what we wanted. We are in such a horrible position that let's just save. I mean, yeah, you have to. Just save.
I mean, it's really bizarre because it was at 1:15 when they were taking positions towards the bathrooms, but then they just didn't do anything after that. And perhaps they were just looking for a pick that just never came. But I think, you know, what you tend to see from a lot of the very top teams is they'll have protocols and say, okay, this is the initial plan in the round. However, you know, if we've reached X amount of time remaining, then we give up on playing for a pick and we try to take some positioning instead and force the issue, and then take it from there. But if you don't do that second stage, you just run out of time. Oh, there we go, FACEIT.
Well, Dozy can pick that up. Even with 8 seconds on the clock, one person was trying to push the tunnel on B, and I just think like that left them with one less gun at the start of this round. But anyway, they kept most of what they had, and now Dozy has picked up the AWP. Let's see what he can do with it. Having a look. But the CTs have fallen back to reduce their risk. 3 smoke grenades on the Hellraiser side, and we are approaching the 1 minute mark, so knowing that Gambit may be playing for a slow game, that will make life even more problematic for them. FACEIT will compound the issues of a clean shot onto Dozy's dome. So now we've got a 5 versus 3 monster smoke top. Mir has short B for the T side, but they don't really have a lot else.
Yeah, the way this has been going for Gambit so far on this T side makes me confident that Hellraisers will take this map. You know, they have to create more opportunities for themselves. It feels as though they're trying to wait too much for mistakes instead of forcing mistakes with, you know, utility and smart use of team play and map control. Either way, we'll see if Adren can get something done here. There could be good timing for him, and it will be Angel's kill and AK. So nothing doing now for Gambit in this round. They will have to save once again. And James, they just frankly need a new approach here. This very slow approach where they're trying to get picks as opposed to trying to create picks. You know, there's 2 different methodologies. I'll have to see if they'll adjust now and play more map control oriented. Force the CTs back, use that utility.
So the round prior, they lost by timeout, which means you don't get any loss bonus if you're alive, but they were alive with 4 players. This time they were alive with 2, so things will continue to be difficult for Gambit. What are they going to do in this situation? They've got some money to buy around the weapons that were saved. And AWP has come back out for Moat. Well, there's a Mac 10. Yeah, so it is interesting. Well,
it's no utility at all.
Yeah, but there's no money. I suppose there could have been instead of this, but then you'd have, well, I don't know. There's always a CZ, right? Charging into the B bomb side, or at least trying to. So there we go. Adren going wide as the initial engager, and then the rest of the team trying to clean up Mir. So far, so good. He's taking the Isa out, Bonded, taking some damage. And Dead Fox is watching the smoke, but as he looks to his right, there are players moving to his left. The Dose is creeping on the corner as well, planting the bomb behind the smoke now, and Bonded has a lot to do. Getting 2 kills for his team as CTs continue to charge through. Hobbit with a nice spray there. That leaves Woxic alone. How does he avoid getting traded? Hobbit, oh, what's he doing? He has no idea where he is. He's just out in the open. Somehow still alive. Taking massive risks here. Grenade goes sailing in. Hobbit with 3 kills looking for number 4. The Molotov won't go deep enough, it seems. Will it be an instant trade? Surely it will be. Dozier's ready. That was a scary one, but Gambit find a way to get around.
And Woxic seemed to have misread the second player's position really enormously there. He seemed to think that he's towards barrels. Very interesting. Yeah, I was going to say as well, actually, you know, one way if you're reaching stagnancy and nothing feels like it's working, you know, those B rushes can be really good to just shake things up, you know, just get some kills, you know, get a win under your belt. Okay, maybe that's something you can't rely on, but it does break things up nicely after, you know, a series of rounds where you had a very limited success. And Gambit do have Hellraisers on the edge here when it comes to the money, so looks like they're going to take a similar approach, going for a heavy B presence straight away in there. This could be very devastating. Doze is good on this entry. He's absolutely blind though. Brilliant counter flashes coming in from Hellraisers, but still they're taking losses.
3-3, Dead Fox still on the site. Double Molotovs, almost going to the same place, forcing Dead Fox forwards, and he will, while he's forced forward, see that nobody's in the bomb site, which means that Hellraisers will start to spread. Now, Gambit resetting the situation. The plus side for Gambit is that Hellraisers will have to go back and cover both sites. So having exited the B bomb site, wherever they choose to attack will be weaker than 3 people in one place.
Yeah, this is a classic move. Makes it really tough for the CTs. And if Hobbit gets a kill here, the round is just impossible. And that's a 1v1. And now Hobbit spotted Woxic. Woxic has an AWP though, and it's Woxic. And oh, did he even get a chance to hit the shot there? I don't even know if he pulled the trigger, but Hobbit takes his head off. And now Hobbit can just sit on that A bomb site, covering rotations. Adren, oh, okay, good. Okay, Mo doesn't have the bomb anymore, of course. He threw it away. I thought that he had a bomb for a moment there, but indeed, bomb plant here for Gambit. And there might be a chance here for Hellraisers. There's time.
Does Hobbit hear Bondic going towards connector here? So that is a great help. Bondic looking one way, Hobbit coming from the other. Quick reload for him. Adren on long as well. So it's Dead Fox, and he will give up on this one. He doesn't have a defuse kit, and that might have a part to play in it, but off he goes, and that will be round number 13 for Gambit. So they've found a way to win some more rounds. Again, they did win both the pistol rounds. All things considered, Hellraisers have been doing a good job, but can they get back to winning ways?
Yeah, and I've got to say that, you know, we've seen Hellraisers pick up a couple of rounds, but if you ignore the pistol round that they won, those are the only buy rounds they've won. If we think about how, you know, where they've found success versus where they found failure, they found failure in playing defaults, and it doesn't seem like they really have a default that really runs into any effective, like forks into any effective, you know, mid rounds or late rounds. That got shut down entirely. The only success they've had is off of a B rush and then a B rush, effectively. And you can't just B-rush every single round, so there is still, I think, a big ask here for Gambit to show that they actually can win rounds in any other way. So I'm still liking Hellraiser's chances here, but their money is definitely off balance.
Yes, $2,000 per person and the AWP on Dead Fox. It seems he may carry it because he's the player with Kevlar. Otherwise, I'm sure Woxic would have the goods. Now, in a round such as this, at the beginning of the round at least, I'm sure you want to try and get a fast pick with the AWP or puts it in a position to get an early pick before you start to lose these pistoling players, because of course you want them to be able to swarm, to collect weapons, to hold real estate and have off angles. And there we go, that's a great start for him, and the numbers are there as well for support. Adren is completely exposed, and it's almost 4 kills for Dead Fox, but there is no trade on this occasion. However, the bomb is back in T-Spawn, and Mir has to fall back to collect it, which means that if they dare, Hellraisers can pick up some rifles.
And there will be a delay for that. I think Hellraisers, there is always a play where Gambit are protecting the rifles at this point, so they're not going for them immediately. And it's Angel lurking around close range with the CZ. This 1v1's massive. He picks it up. Doesn't take too much damage. There is an AK potentially, but he won't go for it. Falls back. He doesn't need it. That CZ at those ranges is very effective. Mir's on 18 points of health. He is not in a good spot here. I think we would actually favor Hellraisers in this position now, especially that Angel's picked up an AK. Mir needs to get very lucky with his timings to make this work. And he'll just creep all the way up A long to see if he can find that. Oh my goodness, an instant headshot as well from Angel. Very well played by Dead Fox. Beautiful AWP play, so confident and very decisive. And that is not what Gambit wanted. Now Gambit are actually in a position where they can't even buy.
That was awesome, but again, the supports he had was fantastic. So important with the players pushing through connector, and everything changes. Now Gambit wondering where all their weapons have gone. Still a 2-round lead for the time being, but does not appear that it will last very long, especially with all these Glocks in tow. However, Hellraisers, oh no, sorry, it was Gambit, wasn't it? In the first half, who had a sloppy anti-eco round. Ooh, much better range. Oh, Woxy, that is absolutely beautiful.
The first kill's strangely difficult to land, actually. That first AWP shot. Two Deagles left. Some damage to be had, perhaps? Angel waits patiently, he's expectant, and great crosshair placement as always. And he will finish off the job. 12 rounds for Hellraisers and 13 for Gambit, and I think, James, at this point they should just rush B again. I actually don't think. I think that there's not enough time to work out how to make those defaults towards A work, because they tried it like 3 or 4 times in a row and it just failed every time in an enormous way. Double Mag 10 it's got to be B, surely. Let's see it. Let's see the B.
I guess they can start in connector. Ooh, I think you might be right. Mo's going to be throwing some grenades. The molly going straight through it, no fear whatsoever. There's a smoke from a teammate as well. They're both in the red immediately. Dead Fox trying to get his Tizian on, but he can't do it. Now we've got the T's running across the site. Very important as well for the real estate, but Mir can't do it. He went through so many smokes, so many frags for the CTs. Isa still holding down the low ground. Dozier was red, now he's dead. Now we've got 2 left. The Mac 10. Adren is in a strong position. That smoke's going to go soon, but will Isa get the cover first? Angel staying. Oh god, which one does he engage? Which one does he engage? Angel pulls a grenade out. 2 huge frags for Adren. Everything changes now. Wox is going to be fast. Great snap from him, but where on earth is Mo?
Big moment for Woxic once again. This retake has the AK. Mo's been really hot though for Gambit. 21 and 11 at the moment as he sits behind the smoke. Woxic trying to bait him out. He's running out of time. Goes for the hold here. Will he come off? He does, and he gets it. But there is no time. Mo's done enough, and a very close one. But Gambit will take him at B rush. Very good choice from them.
Mo smells the fear. There's no way he's holding this one. Takes some guts to do that, but look at the information play from Adren. That's absolutely outstanding stuff. What a situation. So many pushes through the smoke from Gambit. They really filled up the sights, stop the vision, and just like that we go back and forth and back and forth. Everybody's economy in the bin, but Gambit are in a very strong position now because it's they who are 2 rounds away from winning the match.
Yeah, I have to say though, I feel like Hellraisers overall have played a better overpass in a sense, but then from some perspectives I think, Gambit, there's a lot to be said for, okay, sure, maybe your T side looks really questionable, but if there is that one thing that works and you can just call it and have repeated success with that, then you screw it. And I'm glad that they recognized that and just said, you know what, let's just let's not mess around with this A side of the map, and just the B has been working, and it's been throwing Hellraisers off balance. Just keep to it. It takes some balls to call for that, I think, repeatedly, especially if you think that your opponents can read it easily. But we'll have a mix-up here from Gambit. Hellraisers need this round. They've bought up fully. AWP back onto Woxic. Dead Fox is stuck on an MP9, and their utility absolutely sucks. They surely have to get aggressive, and Issa can start it off with sewers.
Angel moving around upstairs, looking for something. That's a perfectly timed flashbang. Mir goes wide. Issa spray won't hit the mark. He was blind, of course. Some spray towards that short B position in case another CT is getting curious. So a man lost for Hellraisers. Is there a response they can have? Angel starting to flank the long position. He really wants to get something done. In the meantime, Woxic has fallen back, perhaps to cover a potential push from toilets. Now Angel's just biding his time around the bicycle area, but Mo might be peeking him soon.
This is so important. Angel surviving and getting information, maybe a kill or two, slowing them down. And in comes Woxic once again with the AWP. Angel kicks it off though. Big first kill, as now the trade is attempted by Adren. Angel defends, and with Woxic to support with the AWP, they're looking really good right now, Hellraisers. 3 players left for Gambit as they try to figure this one out. There's 30 seconds to go, and the bomb is very far away from a bomb site. What do? They have to take a huge risk here, and Angel is crushing this A play single-handedly.
I've got Bondic moving back on me in case rotation is required. Mir going wide, that's the bomb loss, that's everything. There are only 12 seconds left. And
oh my god.
That is ace from Angel. He's just wiped everybody out. I wonder what the... Well, I guess they had to do something, the Gambit, because they're going to have a timeout and the money was going to be ruined. But you see, the flashbang came in from Mo, and that's something that... Sorry, from Woxic, and that's something people don't often talk about, is a sniper will often have to provide some support flashbangs to enable this kind of thing to happen. That was so clutchly called for the flashbang, otherwise he probably gets wrecked, because when he went into the toilets, I think he was seen by the long players in the first place.
Yeah, that ace is bittersweet for me, because there shouldn't be a world where Angel can get 5 1v1s. One after the other like that. That's not good trading basics from Gambit, and it's a full Glock eco for them. Hellraisers have been handed a lifeline here, and they will try to run in with the pistols, and maybe it'll be successful. Woxic is too good though, surely. He does have support out of Bondic. He will eventually go down, and there are some frags coming back here in the way of Hellraisers, and they'll shut it down in the end.
Life is so hard with a Glock. You saw how close Dozier was to the CT. He still had to shoot him a 3rd time after hitting him in the head twice from that range. Absolutely crazy. But here we are. 14 apiece. And Gambit's money, I mean, they may have to play for overtime. This is... Oh, they're going for it.
B-Rush. James, when in doubt, B-Rush.
They are going for it.
Let's go B-Rush. It's happening, isn't it? It's happening again, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Well, Woxic's made his way down into the connector position. There are pop flashes for that area, and he's got Angel in tow, so this could be a very quick 5-on-5 on the B bomb site. Dead Fox waiting to get caught with a grenade in his hand. Sees a flashbang of Poison. Great bursting, conserving his energy. He knows it's a rush. We've got smoke down on the sides as well. He will fall back because of the Molotov, and Hellraisers will wait.
Yeah, this is a really hard spot. Hellraiser's way more prepared, just as you said, for this headshot. They know this read. Mir, though, that's a beautiful headshot. They need some more clutch headshots like that to make this one work, because of how much Hellraisers understand about the round. They've got all the information. The flank is coming in from Angel as well. I think that Mir's looking for it, but he's only got 9 HP, so he needs a very strong off angle to deal with this. Angel checks for everything, even finds the headshot himself. And now, once again, we go back to Dead Fox here on the bomb side. He's been a savage in some of these scenarios. Let's see if he can do it again. Stand still though.
One by one, they're pulling teeth. The string is tied to the door. The door's getting slammed repeatedly. This is still winnable though, because it's a 2v2 on the site. Make it 3. And it's Hobbit now. He's got 30 seconds to try and clutch this. 1 versus 3, but there's a player behind him. There's too many man. And now it's match point to Hellraisers. This has been... I expected it to be quite a back and forth, but man, this is going down to the wire. But what do they do now? They've got about $2,700 average. Gambit. There's no timeout from them here.
Nice. Yeah.
But there are some CZs.
And it was only a matter of time as well. You could see that, like, again, like, you know, you pointed it out, just it became so obvious to everyone watching, in fact, even let alone the players in the server, that B-Rush is so favorable for Gambit. And Hellraisers, they're going to be up against another B-Rush. Here comes Gambit. Can they make it work? Even if you expect it, it's so chaotic. These pistols all over the place. Look how fast they are going across the bomb site, pushing every single position with the MAC-10s as well. And Dead Fox once again delivering here for Hellraisers. Picks off every single one, and they'll do it. Hellraisers 16-14. Oh man, there was a lot of spots where it didn't seem like they were going to win, but I think they deserved it.
Quite the back and forth, and that was a really tough match, I think, for both teams. Lots of difficult situations, difficult spots for both sides, but ultimately it is Hellraisers to just take it over the line.